Okay, ready? Okay, so you just watched the video, right? And we went over which shapes were in there. Which one was this called? Do you remember what this one was called? Sphere. Good job, sphere. What about this one?
Cube.
Cube, okay. And this one?
Rectangular prism.
Rectangular prism. Good job. Okay, can you match the shape of these to the one that looks like these right here? Can you match it to those? Okay, and what's this one called?
Square.
Square. And what's that one called?
Rectangular.
A rectangle. And that one, what did we say this one was called? A circle. Okay. So now we're gonna go through these. We're gonna transfer. These are called three-dimensional solids. Okay, three-dimensional solids. So now what we have to do is, you told me which ones they match to these. So now what we're gonna do is find out the different attributes. You know what attributes are? No? Attributes are like things that describe them. Okay? So what do you think describes a square? What did we say earlier? What are these called? Side, remember? A side. A side. And what about these? These points right here. What are those called? Corners, right? Okay, so now you said that the cube is the same thing. It looks like this one, like the square, right? So now we're going to learn about the attributes, or what describes a cube. Okay, so we said if this was a square, if you're looking at it like this and pretend this is not here, we said these were called what? Corners. But in a cube, because it's 3D, we call those a vertex. Vertex means where different sides or different edges come together. Okay, so we said that this we call the side, right? Because it's flat. On here we call these lines right here these are the corners, are the vertex. Yeah, good job. But these we call edges because they're the edge, kind of like the edge of here. It's the edge because there's nothing left, right? So this is the edge. On here we call them sides. And what about these? What do you think we call the flat places right here? Faces, right? Because they're kind of like the faces if you turn it around of the shape. So these are called faces. So now, can you tell me what's different about the sphere and this one? About the things we just talked about. Remember the vertex, the faces, and the edges.
This one is not like this one because this one does not have like corners.
Doesn't have corners, right? Good job. And what did we say the corners were called when we're talking about 3Ds?
Vertex.
Vertex, right? So these are the vertex. This is a one vertex. To say more than one vertex, we call those vertices. Okay? So all of these put together are called vertices. So if this is one vertex, how many of them are there? Can you count them for me? Point to them and count them for me. How many?
1, 2, 3, 4.
4, and then?
5, 7, 8.
8. So we have 8 vertices on a what? What's this called? On a cube, okay? So if we said these are called vertices, and you said this one doesn't have any vertices or corners, so this one's 0, right? 0 corners, 0 vertices. And then what did we say these were called? Edge. Remember, we said these were sides, so this is an edge, okay? So does the sphere have edges?
No.
No, right? Because it's round. What else did we say? Oh, we said these were what?
Faces.
Faces. Does a cylinder have faces? No, right. I mean, not a cylinder, a sphere. A sphere doesn't have faces because it's round. Okay, so now we went over the cube and the sphere. Now we are going to do it won't stay. The last shape that we said, and we said that one looked like a what? This one. So it looked like, what is this called? A rectangle, remember? Okay, so this one has the same attributes or the same things that describe the cube. Okay, so what are these called on here? What did we call these? Corners or vertex, right? And this one also has faces and edges like we said on the cube. What do you think is the difference between the cube and the rectangular prism?
That they're the same of corners and the sides.
Oh, so they have the same amount of corners or vertex and the same amount of edges. Can you count the number of vertex on this one?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, does this one have 8 too? We said it had 8 too, right? What about faces? Can you count the faces on this one?
1, 2.
Remember, these are faces too, even though they're smaller and they're not the same.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6. So this is the same thing, right? The only difference between this one and this one is, you see how this one, all of the faces are the same size? They're all like tiny squares put together. You see that? Like those. And this one, this one has like four that are the same. This one, yeah, that's the size of them. This one, this one, this one, and this one. And then it has these two that are the same. So that's the difference. So a rectangular prism, we said, has how many that are the same? Count these.
1, 2, 3, 4.
4 that are the same. 2 sets of, and then they have this one and this one that are the same, right? Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to build our own cube, okay? We're going to build our own cube using toothpicks and clay. So here, I'll give you, here, pick your colors, whichever ones you want. Okay, so you're going to build a cube and I'm going to build a cube, okay? So this is what we're building. Okay, so since we remember, to build it, we have to think about the what? What did we say what these were called?
Edges.
These are the edges. Remember the side. The corners are called what?
Vertex.
Vertex. Okay, so we have to think about, and we said it had 8 vertex. You're going to use those? Okay. We're going to think about the vertex. So to connect them, you see how the corners are connected by what? What did we say these were? These were called the first thing you said.
Edges.
Edges. So that means we have to make all the edges. Okay. So how many toothpicks do you? Your toothpicks are going to be your edges. Okay. So count the edges on a cube.
1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8.
8. Okay, 8.
8.
What's this? 9.
9, 10, 11,
12. So how many toothpicks do you need if you have 8 edges? I mean, if you have 12 edges. 12. So count 12 toothpicks. Grab 12 toothpicks, and I'll grab 12 too. Okay, so you have your edges. So now we have to make, we said we had 8 vertices. Okay, so now what you're going to use to connect them is these, the Play-Doh. So you're going to tear a piece like this, and you're going to put it in, put a toothpick in. It could be small or big, however you want it. Make it round and then stick it in there like this. So now we made what? We have Pretend this is what we're gonna build. So it's gonna look like this. So we have 2 vertex now, right? 1, 2, and then 1 what? What are these called?
Edges.
Edges. Good job. Did you have yours? Okay. There you go.
This look
Like you're lifting weights, yeah. So now we're gonna make the faces, remember? Okay, we said these are faces, so we have to connect all of the corners. So you're gonna keep putting your edges, which are your toothpicks, and connecting them.
¿Qué es lo que miran en la página?
¿Sí?
Ahí la leyenda dice qué cosa.
almuerzo.
Almuerzo, ¿verdad? Ahora, esta página nos ayuda a entender qué significa el almuerzo. El almuerzo significa que la familia, o la palabra almuerzo significa que
Okay. So now you have one of these, right? So you have one corner, so like this. So now we have to build the rest of them. So you're gonna have to build another. Yeah, you can put it on there on top just as soon. So build another one just like the one you just did. You can use the same color or a different one. Yeah, you can use that one if you want.
Porque si estuviera en el suelo, sí, pero si no, no. Está en la mesa. ¿Verdad, Jessica?
All right.
Mi papá tiene un bigote.
Mi papá tiene un bigote que le gusta su papá.
Así.
Mi papá lo tiene toda.
Tiene una regla que se encuentra ahí.
No, le puso super sticky. No, le puso sticky cake.
Ahí hace
Okay, good job. Now you have 2 sets, right? So now it's almost a cube. How many edges do you have if you add these plus these? Which ones did we say were the edges? The toothpicks, right? So count the toothpicks that you have.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9.
So you left off at 4, so start at 5 here. 4,
5, 6,
8. Okay, so that one has 8, but we said this one had how many edges?
7.
We said count them again.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
12, right? So we only have 8, so we need how many more? 12. If you take away 8 from 12, how many do you have left? Or if you have 8 and need to get to 12, what do you do? How many do you need? So if you have 8, how many do you have left? 4. Good job. So now what we're going to do to connect them, we're going to connect them. We're going to put this one there. So grab yours. We're going to have to use this last 4 toothpicks that we have. You can even lay it flat, yeah, like that. And then we're going to have to put this on top of here to connect it and make our own cube. You need a little help holding it? There you go. If you Push it in. It's okay. There you go. There you go. There you go. See, now we have our own what? What did we call this?
Cube.
A cube, right? Okay. Okay, so we made our own cube. So now, the Play-Doh or the clay, we call them what? They're the same thing as what?
Vertex.
Vertex, right? And then the toothpicks we said were the what? What did we call these?
Edges.
Edges, right? And then, so now these right here, we call those what? They're the same thing as these.
Faces.
Faces. Good job. So now just to review, we're going to count just how many vertices, how many vertex or vertices, and how many faces, and how many edges the cube has, okay? Okay, so count your vertex with me.
1.
Hold on. Put it right here so the camera can see. Okay, count them and point to them.
Yeah, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8 what? What are those called?
8 vertex.
8 vertex or 8 vertices, okay? They're called vertices cuando son más de uno, so when they're more than one. Now we're going to count the edges. Which ones are the edges? Toothpicks, okay, so count all your toothpicks for me. How many edges do we have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11.
11? A ver, count them again.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12.
12. So we have 12 what?
12
12
edges.
Edges, okay? And now the faces. Which ones are the faces? Those in there. So how many faces do we have? 6, right? We have 6 because you already counted this one. So we have 6. So that's it. So just one more thing. Can you find me a sphere in here in the room? Do you see a sphere in here? What can be a sphere in here?
Don't you have a pencil?
Give her a pencil, Sadie. Oh, there's one right there. Look. There's a pencil right there. On the other side. Find me a sphere. See if you can find me a sphere. Or point to a sphere. That's a sphere? Remember, which one of these is a sphere? That's the sphere is which one? Okay, so which one, what in here is the sphere? The globe, right? Yeah, that's a sphere. Okay, can you find me a cube in here? What looks like a cube in here? Okay, what about in the room? What looks like a cube? What looks like a cube? Yeah, those look like cubes, right? What about the rectangular prism? There's a lot of those in here. Which one do you think? Which one do you see first? That box, right? Yeah, that box is a rectangular prism. Okay, good job. All right, Sadie, well, we're done. Okay, do you want to keep your thing?